Have you ever wondered how some people seem to learn things so quickly? They pick up a new language, master a new skill, or understand a new topic in what feels like no time. You look at them and think, wow, they're so smart. But here's the truth. They're not necessarily smarter than you. They just know how to learn. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How you can learn anything fast, including English. Before we start, I want you to repeat after me. I can learn anything if I learn it the right way. Say it again with confidence. I can learn anything if I learn it the right way. Good. That's your first mindset shift, because learning fast isn't magic. It's a skill. And once you understand how it works, you can use it for the rest of your life. Let's begin with a story. There was once a man named Alex. Alex wanted to learn how to play the guitar. He bought an expensive guitar, watched YouTube tutorials, and practiced for hours every day. But after a few months, he got frustrated. His fingers hurt. His progress was slow. He thought, maybe I'm just not talented. So he quit. A year later, his friend Maria decided to learn guitar too, but she took a different approach. Instead of practicing random songs, she started small, just one chord a day. Then she practiced simple songs that used those chords. Within 2 months, she was confidently playing her favorite tunes. Alex was shocked. How did you learn so fast? He asked. Maria smiled and said, I didn't try to learn everything. I learned the most important things first. That's the first secret to learning fast. Focus on what matters most. Don't try to learn everything. Learn the 20% that gives you 80% of the results. This is called the Pareto principle, and it works in almost every area of life. If you're learning English, that means focusing on the most common words, the most useful grammar, and the most natural phrases, not on rare vocabulary or complex rules you'll never use in daily life. Let's try something. I'll say a sentence, and I want you to repeat it. Ready? I will focus on the most important things first. Good. Again, louder this time. I will focus on the most important things first. That's the key mindset of a fast learner. Now let's talk about the second secret. Learn by doing, not just by reading or listening. Many English learners think, if I just watch enough videos or study enough grammar, I'll become fluent. But that's not how it works. You can't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You have to get into the water. It's the same with English. You have to use it, speak it, write it, listen actively, and think in English every day. Even if you make mistakes, that's how you grow. Mistakes are not your enemies, they are your teachers. Let me share another story. A young woman named Aisha wanted to improve her English speaking, but she was afraid. She thought people would laugh at her accent or her grammar mistakes. So for years, she studied alone. She read books, watched English shows, and wrote notes, but never spoke to anyone. Then one day, she decided to join an English conversation club online. She was nervous at first, but everyone there was kind and encouraging. After a few weeks, her confidence grew. She realized that speaking was not about perfection, it was about communication. In 3 months, her fluency improved more than in the previous 3 years. So the second rule for learning fast is this: don't wait to be ready. Start using what you learn right away. If you learn a new word today, try to use it in a sentence. If you study a new phrase, repeat it in conversation. The faster you use it, the faster your brain remembers it. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I learn faster when I use what I learn. Again, I learn faster when I use what I learn. Now here's the third secret: learn actively, not passively. When you listen to this video, don't just sit there. Talk with me. Answer the questions. Repeat the examples. Challenge your brain. Active learning means thinking while you study. For example, if you hear a new word, don't just write it down. Try to make your own sentence with it. If you read a story, try to summarize it in your own words. That's how you make information stick. There's a famous saying, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. That's exactly what we're doing here. I want you to be involved. So let me ask you, what's one thing you really want to learn, besides English? It could be playing piano, drawing, coding, or cooking. Say it out loud. Don't worry, no one's listening. Just say it. Now imagine yourself getting better at it day by day. Picture the smile on your face when you finally master it. Feels good, doesn't it? That's the power of focus, action, and active learning. The next secret to learning fast is consistency. You don't need to study for hours. You just need to study a little every day. Small, consistent actions build strong habits. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't do it for an hour once a week. You do it for a few minutes every day. That's how your brain learns best, through repetition and consistency. If you study English for just 20 minutes every day, that's better than studying for 2 hours only once a week. Because your brain remembers better when you review often. Let's make this practical. If you learn 10 new English words today and review them for the next 3 days, they will stay in your memory much longer. So, say this after me. I will study a little every day. Again, I will study a little every day. Great, you're doing well. Now, one more story before we end this section. There was a young boy named Daniel who wanted to learn French. He downloaded an app and promised himself to practice 15 minutes a day. At first, it felt small, almost too easy, but he stayed consistent. After 100 days, he looked back and realized he had learned hundreds of words and could actually have a simple conversation in French. His secret wasn't talent, it was consistency. So remember small steps every day. Let's review what you learned in this section. You discovered that learning fast is not about natural talent, it's about using the right strategies. Number 1, focus on what matters most. Number 2, learn by doing. Number 3, stay active, not passive. Number 4, be consistent every day. These 4 steps can change how you learn anything: English, music, business, or life skills. And now, I want to leave you with a question. What small action can you take today to start learning faster? Think about it. Maybe it's repeating sentences in English. Maybe it's reading one short article. Maybe it's joining a speaking group. Whatever it is, do it today. Because success doesn't come from what you know. It comes from what you do. Repeat this last line after me. I learn fast when I take action every day. Beautiful! My friend, you've already learned the first big secrets of learning anything fast. Now let's go a little deeper. Because learning fast isn't just about techniques. It's also about your mindset, your energy, and your environment. These things shape how your brain absorbs and remembers new information. Let's begin with a truth that most people don't realize. Your brain is not a machine. It's a living, changing, growing organ. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, which means your brain can rewire itself. Every time you learn something new, your brain creates new connections. The more you use those connections, the stronger they become. Think of it like building a path in a forest. The first time you walk through the trees, it's hard. There's grass, leaves, branches in your way. But if you walk the same path again and again, it becomes clear and easy to walk on. That's how your brain learns. Repetition builds pathways. And the more you practice, the faster you travel that path. So, when you repeat English words or phrases every day, you're not wasting time. You're literally training your brain to think faster. Let's practice this idea together. Repeat after me. Every time I practice, my brain grows stronger. Again. Every time I practice, my brain grows stronger. That's the truth of learning fast. Practice doesn't just make perfect. Practice makes progress, and progress makes confidence. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes people make when learning. They study too hard, for too long, without rest. Have you ever studied for hours and felt your brain just couldn't take it anymore? That's because your brain learns best in short bursts, not in long, exhausting sessions. Research shows that after about 25 to 30 minutes of focused learning, your attention starts to drop. So instead of studying for 3 hours straight, break your time into short sessions. 25 minutes of focus, then a 5-minute break. This technique is called the Pomodoro method, and it's one of the most powerful tools for fast learning. Let's make it practical. Imagine you're learning English vocabulary. For 25 minutes, you focus completely, no phone, no distractions. You write the words, repeat them, make sentences. Then you stop, stretch, drink some water, and rest for 5 minutes. When you return, your mind feels fresh and ready to absorb more. This small change can double your learning speed. So say this after me. I will learn in short, focused sessions. One more time. I will learn in short, focused sessions. Good job! Now, let's move to another secret: teach what you learn. Yes, you heard that right. Teaching is one of the fastest ways to learn. When you explain something to someone else, your brain organizes the information more clearly. You have to understand it deeply in order to explain it simply. If you're learning English, you can teach it in small ways. Maybe you explain a new phrase to a friend, or you record yourself saying, "Today I learned that we use used to for past habits." You're not just sharing knowledge, you're reinforcing it in your brain. Let me share a real-life story. There was a student named Arjun who wanted to learn computer programming. He joined an online course, but after a few weeks, he realized he couldn't remember much. So he started a small YouTube channel where he explained everything he learned each day, in simple language. Within months, not only did his skills improve quickly, but thousands of people started watching his videos. By teaching others, he learned faster than ever. So remember this: if you can teach it, you truly understand it. Let's say this together. When I teach what I learn, I remember it better. Again, when I teach what I learn, I remember it better. Now, let's talk about something very important: energy. Learning fast isn't just a mental game, it's also physical. If you're tired, hungry, or stressed, your brain can't work at full power. So take care of your energy. Sleep well, eat healthy, drink water, and take short breaks. Think of your brain like a smartphone. Even the best apps won't work if the battery is low. You need to recharge. And the best way to recharge while learning is to move your body. After every study session, get up, stretch, or walk for a few minutes. Movement increases oxygen in your brain, and that helps you remember better. So let's try this affirmation. My mind learns best when my body feels good. Again, my mind learns best when my body feels good. Great! Now, let's explore another idea: make learning emotional. Your brain remembers emotions more than plain facts. That's why you still remember a happy song from years ago or a sad movie that made you cry. Emotion gives meaning to memory. So, when you study, try to connect emotions to what you learn. If you're learning English vocabulary, imagine how you'll use those words in real life. For example, when you learn the word journey, think of your own journey, your dreams, your struggles, your progress. Feel proud of how far you've come. That feeling helps your memory. Let me give you an example. A student named Lila struggled to remember English idioms. Then her teacher told her, every idiom has a story. So when Lila learned the phrase, break the ice, she imagined herself meeting new friends and starting a fun conversation. When she learned a blessing in disguise, she remembered how losing one job helped her find a better one. Each idiom became personal, emotional, and unforgettable. That's what emotion does. It turns information into experience. So, let's make this emotional for you too. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about the reason you want to learn English or any new skill. Maybe it's to get a better job, to travel, to study abroad, or simply to feel confident. Feel that reason deeply in your heart. Let it motivate you. Because when learning has meaning, it becomes unstoppable. Say this after me: I learn faster when my heart is involved. Again, I learn faster when my heart is involved. Beautiful. Now, let's talk about one final tip for this section. Surround yourself with learning. If you want to learn English fast, make it part of your environment. Change your phone language to English. Label items in your room with their English names, like mirror, chair, door. Listen to English music while you cook. Watch English videos with subtitles. You don't have to study all the time. Just live in English. The more you see it and hear it, the more natural it becomes. Think of it like swimming. The best way to learn is to stay in the water. You can't learn swimming by sitting on the shore. You have to feel the water around you. English is the same. You need to immerse yourself in it. So say this with me: I will surround myself with English every day. Once more, I will surround myself with English every day. And when you do that, learning becomes effortless. You start to understand phrases automatically. You think in English without translating. You respond faster. That's how fluent speakers learn, not by memorizing rules, but by living in the language. Let's quickly review today's lessons. You learned that your brain can grow and adapt through repetition. You discovered the power of focused sessions, teaching others, taking care of your energy, adding emotion, and creating a learning environment. Each of these habits adds a layer to your learning power. And the more you use them together, the faster you'll learn, not just English, but anything. Repeat this final affirmation after me: my brain is powerful. I can learn anything faster than I thought. Again, with energy. My brain is powerful. I can learn anything faster than I thought. Wonderful. You're doing amazing. You've already learned powerful secrets about focus, action, mindset, and emotion. Now, in this section, we're going to explore something deeper: how to stay motivated, how to overcome frustration, and how to build a personal system that keeps you learning fast even when life gets busy. Because let's be honest, learning anything fast isn't just about speed. It's about staying on the path when things get hard. Let's start with a question. Have you ever started learning something new, felt excited in the beginning, but lost motivation after a few weeks? Maybe you started learning English with big energy, but then life got in the way: work, family, stress. You stopped for a few days, then a few weeks, and soon you felt like giving up. You're not alone. Almost everyone goes through that phase. The truth is, motivation doesn't last forever. That's why successful learners don't depend only on motivation. They build systems. Let me share a story. There was a man named Omar who wanted to learn public speaking. He was shy and nervous in front of people. But he dreamed of becoming a confident speaker. For the first 2 weeks, he practiced every day. Then one day, he felt tired. "I'll skip practice just for today," he said. That one day became 3 days, then a week. He felt guilty and thought he had failed. But then he realized something. He didn't need motivation every day. He just needed a system, so he built one. He created a simple rule: I will practice for 5 minutes every evening after dinner, no matter what. 5 minutes felt easy. Soon, those 5 minutes became 10, then 15. After 3 months, he was speaking confidently at work meetings. The secret: tiny habits. If you want to learn fast, build small daily habits that are too easy to skip. Don't promise yourself, "I'll study English for 2 hours today." Instead, promise, "I'll read one short story in English every day." Small actions repeated daily turn into big results. Let's practice a sentence together. Small steps every day make big progress. Again, small steps every day make big progress. Now let's talk about another powerful secret: review and reflection. Learning something once isn't enough. You need to review it to make it permanent. When you learn a new word today, your brain might forget it tomorrow. But if you review it after 1 day, then again after 3 days, and then after a week, your memory becomes stronger. This technique is called spaced repetition, and it's one of the fastest ways to remember anything long-term. Imagine your memory like a garden. When you plant new words, they're like small seeds. If you water them a few times and then stop, they die. But if you water them regularly, they grow into strong plants. That's what review does. So say this after me: review helps me remember faster and longer. Again, review helps me remember faster and longer. To make this practical, you can use a notebook or an app where you write new words or concepts and review them regularly. You can even make flashcards and quiz yourself. Just 5 minutes of review a day can save you hours of forgetting. Now let's move to something very important: focus and distraction. In today's world, it's easy to lose focus. You open your phone to check one thing, and suddenly, an hour is gone. That's why people feel like they're learning slowly, because their attention is divided. If you want to learn fast, you must protect your focus. That means turning off notifications, creating a quiet space, and giving your full attention to the task. When you focus deeply, you enter a state called flow, where learning feels natural and time seems to disappear. Have you ever been so focused on something that you forgot to check your phone or even the time? That's flow. And the more often you reach that state, the faster you learn. Let's say this together: when I focus deeply, I learn deeply. Again, when I focus deeply, I learn deeply. Now, here's another truth: you will face challenges. You'll make mistakes, feel tired, and sometimes think you're not good enough. But here's the good news: those moments are part of learning. Every mistake is a signal that your brain is growing. Think of how a baby learns to walk. They fall hundreds of times, but they never say, "I'm not good at walking." They just stand up again. That's the same attitude you need when learning anything fast. So instead of saying, "I failed," start saying, "I learned." If you forget a word, that's fine. If you make a grammar mistake, that's okay. Every mistake brings you closer to mastery. Let's repeat this powerful truth: mistakes help me learn faster. Once more, mistakes help me learn faster. Now, let's talk about a fun but powerful method: visualization. Before you start learning, close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding. Picture yourself speaking fluent English or mastering a new skill. Feel how confident and proud you'll be. Why does this work? Because your brain doesn't fully know the difference between imagination and reality. When you visualize success, your brain starts to believe it's possible. That belief creates motivation, and motivation creates action. There was a famous study with athletes who practiced only in their minds. They imagined running, jumping, or shooting basketballs. Their brains showed the same improvement as athletes who practiced physically. That's how powerful visualization is. So let's try it right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself speaking English clearly and confidently. Imagine someone asking you, "Wow, how did you learn so fast?" And you smile and say, "Because I learned how to learn." Hold that image. Feel that pride. Now open your eyes and say, "I can see my success before it happens." Again, "I can see my success before it happens." You're doing great. Next, let's talk about tracking your progress. When you see progress, you feel motivated to keep going. But when you don't track it, you might think you're not improving, even if you are. So keep a simple record of what you learn. Write down what you studied, what new words you learned, what videos you watched. Every week, look back and notice how far you've come. That feeling of progress gives you new energy to keep learning. Here's a simple truth: progress equals motivation. The more you see it, the more you want to grow. Say it with me: I stay motivated by tracking my progress. Once more, I stay motivated by tracking my progress. Finally, let's talk about patience. Fast learning doesn't mean instant results. It means you learn more effectively with better focus and smarter habits. But it still takes time, and that's okay. Real learning is a journey, not a race. Think of bamboo. When you plant a bamboo seed, nothing seems to happen for years. You water it, you care for it, but it stays underground. Then suddenly, one year, it grows 30 feet tall in just a few weeks. Was that sudden growth magic? No, it was years of invisible preparation. Your learning works the same way. You may not see results today, but your brain is growing beneath the surface. And one day, your progress will shoot up, just like bamboo. So repeat after me: I am patient, my growth is coming. Again, I am patient, my growth is coming. You're doing something powerful right now. You're not just learning English. You're learning how to learn. And once you master that, No goal will ever feel impossible again. Let's review this section together. You learned the importance of small daily habits, spaced repetition, focus, mistakes, visualization, progress tracking, and patience. Each of these adds strength to your learning journey. Now take a deep breath. Smile. You're already learning faster than before, and it's only going to get better. Repeat this final affirmation. Every day, I become a faster and smarter learner. One more time. Every day, I become a faster and smarter learner. Excellent work. You've learned how to focus, how to stay consistent, how to review, and how to believe in yourself. You're not just learning how to learn. You're becoming the kind of person who never gives up, no matter how hard things get. In this section, we'll explore how to turn learning into a lifestyle, how to make it so natural that it becomes part of who you are. Because fast learners don't just study when they feel like it. They build learning into their daily lives in a way that feels fun, easy, and automatic. Let's start with a story. There was a woman named Sophia. She always dreamed of speaking fluent English, but every time she tried, she lost motivation. She downloaded apps, joined online classes, but after a few weeks, she would quit. One day, she met someone who spoke English so naturally that it inspired her. She asked, "How did you learn?" The woman smiled and said, "I don't study English. I live in English." Those words changed everything for Sophia. She began listening to English songs while cooking, watching short English videos every morning, and reading one short article each night before bed. She started thinking in English, even talking to herself in English while getting ready for work. Slowly, without realizing it, English became part of her life. 6 months later, she could speak with confidence. That's the power of living in the language. So say this with me: I don't just study English. I live in English. Again, I don't just study English. I live in English. Beautiful. Now, let's talk about how you can create a learning lifestyle for yourself. Start small. Connect your learning to activities you already do. If you watch YouTube, choose English content. If you use social media, follow English-speaking creators. If you like music, listen to English songs and look up the lyrics. If you enjoy stories, read short ones in English every day. When you do this, English becomes your companion, not your subject. You stop thinking, "I have to study," and start thinking, "I get to learn." And that's a big shift. Now here's something that will make your learning even faster. Use all your senses. When you read, you use your eyes. When you listen, you use your ears. But when you speak and write, you use your whole body and mind together. That's why combining reading, listening, speaking, and writing makes learning much faster. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're learning a new phrase like "never give up." First, read it aloud. Then, listen to someone saying it in a video. Next, write it in your notebook. Finally, say it to yourself 3 times with feeling: never give up, never give up, never give up. That's how you make knowledge stick, by involving your eyes, ears, voice, and hands. So say this with me: the more I use my senses, the faster I learn. Again, the more I use my senses, the faster I learn. Excellent. Now let's talk about another secret of fast learners: curiosity. Curiosity is like fuel for your brain. When you're curious, you learn faster because your brain is excited to discover new things. It's like turning on a light inside your mind. So ask questions. When you read or hear something new, don't just accept it. Explore it. Ask yourself, why is it like that? How does it work? Can I use it in another way? The more questions you ask, the deeper your learning becomes. Let me give you a real example. A student named May was learning English idioms, and she saw the phrase, "but the books." Instead of just memorizing it, she asked, "Why do we say that?" She searched and found that it means to study hard. The image of someone hitting the books to study made her laugh. And because it was funny, she never forgot it. So don't just memorize. Be curious. Play with the language. Learning should be joyful, not stressful. Say this with me: curiosity makes learning fun and easy. Again, curiosity makes learning fun and easy. Now, let's move to something many people ignore: rest and reflection. Fast learners know when to study and when to pause. You can't fill a glass that's already full. Your brain needs quiet time to absorb what you've learned. That's why after studying, it's good to rest, take a walk, or do something relaxing. During that time, your brain organizes the new information and stores it in memory. You might think you're not learning, but your mind is working silently in the background. So, if you ever feel tired or stuck, don't feel guilty for taking a break. Rest is part of learning. Let's say this together: rest helps my brain learn better. Again, rest helps my brain learn better. Good. Now let's talk about confidence. Many learners say, "I understand English, but I'm afraid to speak." Does that sound familiar? It happens because they focus too much on being perfect instead of being clear. But perfection doesn't exist. Even native speakers make mistakes. The key is confidence, not perfection. So next time you speak, don't worry about mistakes. Speak from your heart. People will feel your confidence more than your grammar. The goal of language is communication, not competition. Here's a trick before speaking: take a deep breath and smile. A smile tells your brain it's safe to speak. You'll sound more relaxed and natural. Let's practice. Repeat after me: I speak English with confidence and joy. Again, I speak English with confidence and joy. Perfect. Now let's talk about something truly powerful: the people around you. If you want to learn fast, surround yourself with people who support your learning. Join a group, find a partner, or follow learners online who motivate you. When you learn with others, you grow faster because you share ideas, correct each other, and stay accountable. There's a saying: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But when it comes to learning, especially learning English, going together actually helps you go both fast and far. Let's say this affirmation: learning with others helps me grow faster. Again, learning with others helps me grow faster. Now, before we finish this section, I want to share one more story with you. There was a young man named Daniel who wanted to learn English because he dreamed of working abroad. But he came from a small town, and no one around him spoke English. Instead of giving up, he created his own environment. He joined free online communities, watched English movies with subtitles, and practiced speaking to himself every day in the mirror. At first, people laughed at him, but he didn't stop. 1 year later, he passed his interview and got his dream job overseas. His secret wasn't luck, it was determination. He didn't wait for the perfect situation. He created it. So, if you don't have the right environment, don't worry. You can build it. You can create your own world of learning, no matter where you are. Say this after me: I create my own environment for success. Once more: I create my own environment for success. That's how fast learners think. They don't wait, they act. They don't hope, they create. Now, let's review the lessons from this section. You learned how to make learning part of your life, how to use all your senses, how to stay curious, how to rest, how to stay confident, and how to surround yourself with the right people. Each of these habits will make your progress not just faster, but lasting. And remember this: when learning becomes part of who you are, you don't just grow your mind, you grow your life. Repeat this final affirmation: learning is part of who I am. Again, learning is part of who I am. Beautiful. You're not just learning English, you're learning how to live as a learner every single day. So now, my friend, you've come a long way. You've learned not just about learning itself, but also about the mindset, focus, repetition, and real-life practice that make learning faster, easier, and more joyful. But there's one last thing we need to talk about, something that separates people who try from people who succeed. That thing is consistency. You can be smart, you can be talented, you can even be lucky. But if you are not consistent, your progress will fade away. Imagine a candle. When you light it once, it gives you light for a few moments. But if you light it every day, it becomes a habit, a symbol of your effort. Learning works the same way. You must keep your light burning every single day, even when it feels small, even when you're tired, even when you think you're not improving. Let's make this personal. Think about your English journey. When you started, maybe it was difficult. You forgot words, made grammar mistakes, or felt shy to speak. But you didn't stop. You kept going. You are here right now listening, reading, practicing. That's proof that you already have the most important quality of all, perseverance. So give yourself credit. Say this with me, I'm proud of my progress. Now, I want to tell you a story about a young man named Ali. He wanted to become a pilot, but his English wasn't strong enough to pass the international exam. Everyone told him it would take years. But Ali had something special, determination. He created a small routine. Every morning, he listened to English podcasts for 15 minutes. Every afternoon, he practiced speaking to himself for 10 minutes. And every night, he reviewed 5 new words. Just 3 small habits. But he did them every day. After 6 months, he took the exam and passed. Ali didn't find a shortcut. He found a rhythm. He learned that fast learning doesn't mean rushing. It means repeating smartly. He didn't overwhelm himself. He made learning part of his daily life. So, my question for you is, what will your rhythm be? Think about it. Will you read 1 English story every day? Watch a short English video? Write 1 paragraph in your journal? Or maybe talk to a friend in English for 5 minutes? Choose something simple and doable, because small actions done daily are more powerful than big actions done once. Let's practice a few phrases together that can motivate you. Repeat after me, slowly and clearly. I can learn anything I focus on. I am improving every single day. I learn better when I enjoy the process. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to keep going. Good. Say them again, but this time with energy, like you believe every word. Now, let's talk about another secret of fast learners. They learn by teaching. It may sound strange, but explaining something to someone else helps you understand it better yourself. The next time you learn a new English word or grammar rule, try to explain it to your friend, your family, or even to yourself in front of a mirror. Pretend you're the teacher. You'll see how much more clearly you understand it. And if you don't have anyone to teach, record a short voice note explaining what you learned. Listen to it again later. You'll be amazed at how your confidence grows. You see, when you teach, your brain organizes information better. You remember it longer, and you feel proud of yourself, which gives you motivation to keep learning more. Here's another story. This time about Maria, a nurse from Brazil. She wanted to move to Canada, but her English level was low. She joined an online study group where everyone helped each other. One day, her teacher asked her to explain the difference between since and for. She was nervous at first, but after preparing and explaining it, she realized she finally understood it. That's the magic of teaching. It transforms fear into understanding. So maybe today, you can be like Maria. Find someone to share your learning with. It could be your friend, your sibling, or even your followers if you post online. The more you share, the faster you'll grow. Now, let's do a small reflection. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what did I learn from this video? What will I do differently starting tomorrow? How will I keep my learning flame alive? You can even write these answers down. Writing makes your thoughts more powerful. It's like making a promise to yourself. And before we finish, I want to remind you of something important. Learning fast doesn't mean learning under pressure. It means learning with purpose. The goal isn't to rush to the end, it's to enjoy the journey. Every step you take matters. Every new word you learn, every sentence you understand, every mistake you correct, all of these are part of your story. Sometimes, progress is invisible. You might feel like you're stuck. But trust me, your brain is working quietly in the background, connecting ideas, building understanding, strengthening your memory. The results will show. Just keep going. Repeat after me. I am not in competition with anyone. I am learning at my own pace. I trust my process. I will never give up. You're doing great. My friend, you are building skills that will open doors to opportunities you can't even imagine yet. Learning fast is not about how quickly you move. It's about how deeply you grow. Now, let's end this journey with a final piece of advice. Something that every fast learner knows. Be kind to yourself. If you make mistakes, forgive yourself. If you forget something, review it. If you feel tired, rest. Learning is not a punishment, it's a privilege. It's a gift you give yourself. The power to understand more, to connect more, to express more. So take this energy with you. Keep your curiosity alive. Believe that you can learn anything. English, music, art, science, anything. The only limits are the ones you accept. Let's say this together, one last time. I can learn anything. I am growing every day. My mind is strong, focused, and full of possibilities. I am proud of myself. Beautiful. Thank you for joining this journey. Remember, every time you practice, you move closer to your dreams. Keep learning, keep shining, and remember, your potential is endless.